What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name's Seth, and today we're going to be taking a look at Dead Cells. It's very rare that I say this at the beginning of a video, but if you like roguelike games, buy this. Seriously, this is the best roguelike game I've ever played. Because it's a roguelike game that somehow manages to be a metroidvania style game. It's absolutely flawless. Like, I can't even believe the devs ended up coming up with some format like this and were able to make this game so tight while also being procedurally generated and being a roguelike where when you die you end up respawning and the whole level ends up generating differently while you're also still progressing, and there's tons of secrets and craziness. It's just, I can't even believe how good this game is even in early access. So let's just get right into it. Of course I'm going to abort my current game session. I don't care, I've got to show the people how awesome this game is. So that little gooey slime ball, that's us. And the game actually does a fantastic job trying to kind of, it's like we're trying to kind of get to the bottom of what ended up happening to our character, right? Because everybody seems to know us, but we don't know ourselves. So anyway, we got Dead Man's Purse. This bag contains some gold from a previous life. That must be a bug or something like that, because on my previous playthrough, I ended up having, I ended up having the perk to take 25% of your gold from whenever you die. I don't know why we're carrying that over into a new file, but anyways, I love the descriptions. Seriously, the fact that it just says weapon damage per second and that you've got 5 ammo. So we can also, there's the shield right here. I just want to show you this. It's a timed thing. So if we end up pressing Y, he pulls it out and puts it away within that small frame. You can't hold it or anything like that, meaning that it's a very skill-based weapon and focused on timing. And I don't know the enemy attack patterns, so I just like using the bow. You can shoot 5 arrows in a row, but otherwise it automatically does end up recharging over time, so you never have to worry about stuff. This little dude, he doesn't have a functionality yet, but he's just focused on watching your stats of like the entire playthrough and stuff and what ended up happening. Already we're getting right into it, huh? Okay, so we destroyed the the doorway, and then there's also the enemies themselves. I'll explain a little bit about the controls, because again, even though we started a new save file, it doesn't seem like we're actually running into the tutorials or anything like that. But you can all obviously crouch, double jump is a thing in this game as well. X is going to be your sword, and that can change based on the weapon that you actually have. B, which is going to be one of your most useful techniques, is the roll. So that actually allows you to dodge any of the damage that these guys end up putting out. Some of the different characters, at least that I've found so far, they all have different functionalities. That red guy that we saw right there is actually a mage, so he can zap us from anywhere on the map so long as we're close enough to him. And here's that Castlevania style to it. You see that little rune in the wall right there? That's a secret. Oh man, so secret discovered, probably a fake. This is something that is worth 250 gold. So usually you can find them on the ground as well, and sometimes over in other corners and stuff. This right here is a teleporter, which allows you to navigate the map very easily, so long as you ended up finding another teleporter as well, right? Oh, look at that generation. We already got to the end of that first segment. So we got grenade 2, not 1. Why need 1 when you can have 2? Active skill, 2.8 second recharge time. Damage is 10%. Explodes, inflicting 88 damage, and then damage 10% buff, I guess, because it's grenade 2. Enemies hit with explosion upon death freeze for 1.2 seconds. Now, this is why I love roguelikes. Like, I never really ended up having a roguelike series on the channel, but man alive, do I love me some roguelikes. Okay, so this is just kind of the most standard normal of enemies. I want to try and hit these guys with a couple grenades here just so I can kind of show y'all. Whoops. Okay, maybe I gotta do a little bit better then. Ha! There you go. So they ended up getting stunned for a little bit there. That guy seemed to just attack us, no problem. I don't know if these are supposed to be references to our character right here, or it's supposed to be like other heroes that ended up perishing, because this, of course, is our slimy DNA dude. And we can tickle it! Like, seriously, I love that. Carrots in the walls, Castlevania enough for you yet? Hey, you stupid archer. And I love the graphic style too. Like that really sells it for me. And then here we go. If we had 1,000 gold, we could end up opening this special treasure door to end up getting that new piece of gear. Thankfully, there's a teleporter, so we don't even have to worry about getting back out of here, right? So there's the mage character that I was talking about. Whoopsie daisy, ended up grabbing that health increase, so at least it was self-explanatory. You'll also run into shield enemies like this where you have to get behind them in order to actually cause damage to them. But, you know, and later on, of course, they're going to end up introducing different enemy types and stuff like that, which, I mean, it's really, really cool. Like, really, really well designed. Did I end up getting... Yeah, so there was that gold thing that was standing there. That was just a bunch of ore that we could end up grabbing, which, of course, is just going to go towards our total currency, right? Choose one of 3 stats to improve. Roll behind him. Love the twitch controls, you know, very skill-based. And the fact, too, like, I really, really hope that we can get into it today and actually find a new piece of equipment, because the weapon variation is insane. They even have a whip, straight up like an electric whip, that is very much reminiscent of the old Castlevania games. Also dual daggers, which ends up being really good. Whoopsie daisy, I pressed the wrong button to end up rolling. Aha! So we actually can pick this up, and this is going to be our trap. So you always have one that's going to be a grenade and one that's going to be a trap. That trap is going to end up stopping enemies, and here's that electric whip I was talking about, which, as you can see, it does not have nearly as much damage as our main sword that we're using, the default rusty sword, but it has range. That's going to be the big benefit of it. We're going to actually be able to hit enemies from quite far away, and you can actually juggle yourself, which is always cool when you do that. Oh, maybe that's not necessarily the end of the level then, if there's just big treasures like this. Greed shield blocks attacks and shakes out any loose gold from your enemy's teeth once per enemy. Okay, damage 10%. Oh, it actually does damage. Attacking immediately after parrying inflicts 300% damage. Ay, that is insane, dude. That sounds really, really cool. Now, hopefully I can end up... Ooh, and now we got our merchant, dude. So it's a good thing we got to show this off as well. Golden amulet. If you don't attack for 5 seconds, you become invisible. Ooh, that could be really good for runs. The victim suffers bleed damage when it thaws out, because it's an ice grenade, which ice abilities are always my favorite in these games. Fire usually, but ice is just always so useful, isn't it? Then a blood sword too, which is going to end up causing a bleeding effect. The throwing knives, these things are pretty cool, you know, mostly just if you want to play like a ninja stealth character or something. Most of all, the advantage is the range, but otherwise they're not going to have that much damage, right? So anyways, let's just head over here and see if this is actually going to be throwing us into the next section, because otherwise I didn't know. Yeah, so we actually are going to get 2 chests to go to the next zone, or maybe the first area, or the first chest that we got at the beginning wouldn't have gone there. Now this is where the roguelike aspect comes in, because all of these abilities that you see here are going to be permanently unlocked. And it seems like even though I started a new file, it did actually keep a couple of these, although it didn't seem to keep the progress towards some of them. No, it did. Okay, so maybe I would have to just erase and reinstall the entire game to start from scratch, because otherwise, yeah, if you start a new run, I guess you just get to keep all this stuff. So it's like... This, for example, if we slowly level this up, and you can see we've got 11 cells in the top right. The cells are actually what is dropped by enemies, right? So you get rewarded by killing enemies. And at the beginning, anyways, you have to actually use get the healing potion flask in order to actually unlock a lot of the other abilities. And then for this one, for example, healing potion 3, you need to have healing potion 2 in order to get, but you need to kill or at least trade in 60 cells from enemies, right? So it kind of progressively gets to a harder and harder grind with all of that. The starting shield is randomly drawn from those you have unlocked. So really, really cool mechanics to it. So let's actually get this grenade right here, which is going to end up increasing the damage of grenades by 5%. So that's going to be pretty useful as well. Then we could end up upping that as well. Frost Blast freezes enemies hit by the blast. These are different abilities that we actually have already unlocked or found out in the world. Of course, all of this stuff is going to end up being increased a lot more as the game ends up developing further, because you can see if we go to the beneficial effects, this is all that we've really got. For the swords, we've only got a couple weapons, and while you can end up like upgrading each of these, I'm pretty sure is always just going to end up costing the same. Is that right? Maybe, I don't know, because I ended up getting the blood sword once already, and it actually dropped one on the ground that we could use, and yet we can still continuously increase the damage, so I'm a little bit confused on that one. And then, of course, there's going to be all of the traps and stuff like that. I don't know where magic spells actually fit into the equation. It's always a good idea to spend all of your cells, though, because you're not going to keep the cells that are on your person when you die. Thus is the roguelike effect. Now, this right here, this is interesting. If you've ever played Dark Souls, this is pretty much where you end up refilling your flasks, because if we hold left bumper, we can end up healing, right? And you can only use that once per charge. However, if you end up getting the healing potion too, you're gonna have 2 charges, but otherwise right then and there, you saw that we ended up, not only it would have actually healed us as well, but we ended up getting the flash recharge as well. So now we're actually going into the second area. This area I haven't really touched that much, honestly, folks, because I was already just stoked enough playing through the starting area over and over, but there is spikes and traps that you're gonna have to deal with. Whoopsie daisy. You can always slightly adjust the camera, but in some sections, I would actually like to see the camera zoomed out a little bit, but maybe that's just me. Anyways, here's our whip in action. You can see that it actually does some real good, like, spam attacks going on, but at the same time, you know, it's definitely a different weapon for sure. Whoa! Okay, let's trap him in. There we go. That's those stronger enemies that I'm not exactly sure how to deal with, so gotta be really careful about that. But woo! It's really, really cool though, dude. I love, like, I love this game. It's just insane. All I have is nothing but good things to say about it. Let's just ignore that way and let's go over here. Whoopsie daisy. Well, we can't afford this, and then we would get a different type of grenade. We could get that, but we're not going to. Right now, I just want to kind of continue forward. And you see those green enemies, they can actually do a lunge attack, which causes lots of damage. However, good point that we actually ended up getting that across right there was the fact that you can actually lock them into the trap ability. So really, really clutch, really designed well. Like that's the biggest thing. Is not only is this game like crazy cool and crazy good with its design in general, like the choices that they've made with the game. Like, see what I mean? That guy ended up hurting us quite a bit just with his little lunge attack there. But it's just so tight. You know, like everything about it is just done like really, really well, and it's absolutely awesome. The fact that most of your abilities are just on a cooldown as well, instead of having to worry about a stupid mana bar or something like that, it's just all about being a fun game. Which most roguelikes are really, really fun to me. Like, I love roguelikes just in their design, but this one manages to be, you know, something really, really that sets a new high bar for everything else. So let's get ourselves some of the health, because whatever. And I guess we'll kind of just continue a little bit here to see how far we can end up actually getting in this run. Not necessarily gonna go all the way, but I kind of want to see whether or not we can end up getting to a boss fight or something. Seems like those bat enemies are just more annoying than they are difficult. Whoopsie daisy, I did throw down my trap, but I guess I didn't end up throwing it down properly. Let's ignore going up there. Also, that's the other thing too, because we are talking about, whoopsie daisy, a metroidvania style of game. I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to be looking around and watching for the runes, because those things can end up helping you an awful lot. Flashbang, whoopsie daisy, I want to grab that. So here we go. Inflicts 33 damage and stuns nearby enemies for 3 seconds. That's not going to be better than either of these, but I'm just gonna grab it just so I can kind of show you, because it's really, really cool that this game has stuff like that, dude. Like, I really do enjoy it. I'm also kind of getting my butt kicked by all these things. What is this? What's this training dummy? Oh man, it actually, you can kill it and it gives you a random free cell. That's cool. Okay, and these teleporters, again, man, like, so convenient. You can see in the bottom right, a very smooth map system that you can deal with. Like, really, buy this game. Links are gonna be in the description for everything about it. Greed shield again. So what's the difference between this one and ours? Damage is 20%, +1 to your skills. Oh, I should have mentioned that. Rip me. Let's keep this one. I still gotta try and actually block an enemy attack with this shield. So in the bottom left, it's very simplistic. You can see with the X and Y, because those are both our weapons, you know, kind of like our damage abilities. Those, you can kind of see in the bottom left, we've actually got 2. So the stats and level up of all of the systems are very, very minimal. So you don't gotta worry about getting 5 billion damage and then wondering like, okay, how do I actually calculate this, you know? It's just as simple as very, very small numbers. And simply put, like even you can see with the skills, that's the right trigger and left trigger, that's your skill ability, or level I should say, and each of the levels of course is just going to end up increasing the potency of. So this is going to be, this door is sealed, was sealed 6 minutes. Oh my, this was sealed 7 minutes ago, so it encourages speed running as well. Oh, that is awesome. Hello, little carrot. You're going to help me a lot, aren't you? There is also doors that you can end up finding out in the world that are going to end up being, like you'll have to hit a switch to actually activate them. Oh, I see, that training dummy is augmenting them. Okay. That's what's going on. Okay, we gotta try and take care of that guy then. Get out of here, you. I love that roll though, like the controls are so tight. I didn't know that this little dude was actually doing something like that, so he counts as an enemy and rip me. Get wrecked by my trap. Man, that anticipation. Oh, look at that. It actually automatically detected that secret hidden rune, so that was cool. Hey, little buddy, I'm gonna tickle you. Jerk. So here's one of those switch doors, like I just mentioned, and I'm hoping that we can end up running into, is this gonna be a boss fight? Tickle. Yep, no, this is not a boss fight, but it is going to end up being an elite enemy, which elite enemies, I'm probably going to end up dead here, because this is just going to, oh, I'm no good at these guys, dude. Like, I'm really no good at fighting them. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, let's drink a potion. Okay, whew. Because you can't go under his attacks. That's the big problem here. Oh boy, and he just keeps summoning more and more dudes, and this is where this weapon is not really good, because of the fact that it doesn't. Oh man, because it doesn't shoot through enemy opponents. Like we can only attack one at a time. Oh man. Oh man, come on. Oh dude. Can we end up even getting this guy? No, man, that was, no, poor choice of weapon there, poor choice of weapon. If we didn't have that stupid whip, because it can only target one enemy at a time, we would have been able to get through that. Oh, dude. That was intense though when you fight elite enemies, man. That's not even the boss fights. Like seriously. So again, let's keep that dead man's purse. I don't know why that happens, but whatever. And then again, you see, we're right back at the beginning. That guy would end up telling us our stats, and the adventure continues. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Very much appreciate it. Links are gonna be in the description for everything about this game. If you would please like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.